Hello, hello. This stream I will be presenting every solution for the one metric. Yes. I have turned down the game audio. Perhaps I will turn it back up and only turn it back down once that becomes relevant, because that will be relevant at some point. Hmm. Oh dear. Is this any better? Okay, I have removed the noise suppression on my voice. Does that work? Well, that's concerning. Hmm. Does this change anything? Okay, good. Seems like it was a loose hardware connection this time. So good catch there. Okay. I don't know how to do anything about the Twitch notification sound. Okay, I think I found the issue. Is this any better? Okay. And now I have a noise filter up for the fan noise. Awesome. Okay, with the tech issues sorted, let's move on to the actual stream part of the stream. So this is one last favor. It is an overlap cost puzzle. Week 10 of this tournament, in the planning phase, it was always going to be overlap at the end rather than a computation puzzle. But I kept it as a surprise. Originally, One Last Favor was less complex. It didn't demand the glyph of unification, just purification. But the thing about cost puzzles is that if you don't think it's impossible, it's probably too easy for cost mains, because I don't understand cost mains. Anyway, I shall move on to the actual solutions. We are starting at 65th place with Thingy's solution. It'll show what's going on. Yep. Okay. That's not the right one. That's a splash image. Oh, I get it. I get it. Laid out. The notes say, nothing, moving on. Oh, by the way. And then there's like a choose your own adventure of which thing I'm going to say. Yeah, there are things like cat noises and instruction tape, hotkeys, and etc. in here. Let's see this produce an output. Anyway, for those of you who may be new to Opus Magnum and just seeing what's going on in this stream, the game usually does not look like this. Things shouldn't be on top of each other besides the Van Berlo's wheel and the piston on the track. I sure hope it's not someone's first stream. Okay, we've created a product. Let's go. In 64th place, we have 71. And just a moment. Parser. This isn't thingy solution. Just messing with the parser right now. Yes, unfortunately crashed already. I think this may be because... I think this may be because the submitter name is a number and something maybe being treated not like it should be under the hood. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Yep, so there's the glyph, just the glyph disposal under here. See that? So an early approach to overlap cycles might look something like this. The notes say, I was thinking how I could have the glyph of unification in line with the output on the quintessence, but I could not figure out a nice way to do it. I suppose a few extra area will have to do. Admittedly, this isn't exactly hyper-optimized for anything really, but it looks nice. It's pretty fast, and pretty small, and pretty. I'm sorry about the choppiness, I don't know why that's happening. Anyway, in 63rd place, we have Ultra Short Pulse. The notes say, somehow the witchcraft continues to get crazier. Yes. In overlap, few things don't look like witchcraft, because this is the game using glitches and covering stuff up. So all these solutions will look like magic, essentially. In 62nd place, we have what is a username. There are no notes. So one thing about overlap is that you can try to swing a molecule away from the glyph of bonding or multi-bonding and still have something connect to it, like you're pulling a handkerchief out of your sleeve. You can You can get it to work eventually, though. That can be a helpful thing or a distinctly unhelpful thing. I'll try closing some things in the background to see if that helps with the frame rate issue. Looks like my encoder is overloaded. Okay, in 61st place, we have Fuyu. The notes say, never dabbled in overlap before, but seeing atoms spawn and do things out of nowhere is pretty addictive. This solution uses one extra debonder, so I believe optimal cost is 105G, but I have no idea whether overlap reduces the number of tracks required. Many thanks to Kazian, the playtesters, and the commentators for the enjoyable tournament. The extra debonder is there's one over here and one over here. Neat. In 60th place, we have Reinen. The notes say, sadly I am still a busy fella, so here is a normal cost solve. Thanks for the tourney, Kazian. I'm kinda hoping I'll have more time next year because last year I said I wanted to shoot for top 10, and that just can't happen if I have a couple hours total most weeks. Still good fun though, and great to see so many new players. Let's keep it going. Yeah, the tournament has been such a big event this year with so many people in it. I have no idea how big Opus Magnum is going to be next year. Everything might go back to normal, or the game might blow up. It's really impossible to tell with Day-Ray Metallica and the new journal issues and everything. Yes. Chat is pointing out that since this is a regular cost solve, 3-track is sufficient to handle both unification and purification. Still, thank you for submitting, Reinen. In 59th place, we have Guilty Bystander. Okay. This is minimum cost without overlap. The title speaks for itself. I'm trying to fix the video encoder. Yep. Sorry for the black screen moment. Okay, in 58th place, we have No Longer Breathe In. The notes say, I'm pretty sure min overlap cost is 100G, but I can't see how to reach it. This doesn't technically save any G over non-overlap. That has enough hexes of reach to hit everything. Theory says 90G is absolute minimum, but I don't see how it's possible that either 2 bonders or 2 track hexes. In 57th place, well, we have a parser crash. But someone there. So there is actually no submitter name for this solution, so the overlay is not going to show it properly, but there is someone. The notes say, huge thanks to everyone involved in making this tournament happen. I had a lot of fun and learned even more about the game. See you in the next one. Ah, thank you. That's a good question, Deathweasel. There just is not a submitter name for this solution. It's 57th place. There is probably some bug somewhere, or someone just didn't submit a name. I don't know exactly what's going on, but there you go. I am not going to dig into the parser code on stream to figure that out. Anyway, in 56th place, we have Mika. Hi. The notes say, "This is the new solution 1. I'm sure with a few more hours I could have gotten a 100, and I'm sure that since this puzzle is designed to match Last Hook fireworks, 90 cost is possible. Excited to see those." Yeah. Originally this was supposed to be a pretty gentle introduction to overlap, but then people decided that the production cost puzzle was not a cost puzzle, so I gave them a cost puzzle. So in 55th place, we have Desk Weasel. Chat is talking about 90 cost as a possibility. Anyway, we are becoming more area conscious as these solutions continue. Area considerations for overlap are just massively different than they are for actual intended Opus Magnum gameplay, because you can put stuff on top of each other. Okay. Well, then everyone who's at 57th place or lower goes up a placement, given this odd bug. Oh well. If there are any other strange placement issues as the stream goes on, let me know. In 54th place, we have Julot. Same area, just fewer instructions. So here we are seeing the advent of the arms track being on top of the glyphs. This is a thing that you can do in overlap because anything can go on top of anything else. Yep. Stream is lagging. I can see that as well. Just a moment. I'll let you watch this while I try to fix it. Okay, I've adjusted the encoder quality a little so it may be able to keep up better. Anyway, in 53rd place we have 42 Genius 42. The notes say maybe close to min cost, though it is overlap, so I may be missing special things. Okay, good. In 52nd place, we are taking a primary drop, and it is Biggie. There are no notes. If you're surprised to see Biggie way down here, it's because Biggie was trying for 90G. Yeah, Cursed Inferno. Unfortunately, this is the 2026 Opus Magnum tournament, and wow, you guys are good at the game. All this area is why this is way down here in the 100s. Okay. In 51st place, we have Sockboy. The notes say, maybe someone will work out how to do this without track, but that someone won't be me. This is my first time playing with overlap. I thought it would only make things easier, but so many unintended bonds get created. At least the disposal glyph fits nicely now. I've really enjoyed the tournament this year. It's been a blast. Many thanks to Kazian and the playtesters for running such a cool event. All the best, everyone, and see you in 2027. Yep, there is a disposal in this puzzle. There's some difficulty with reshaping the product, but it gets there eventually. And all this difficulty with reshaping is because the glyph of bonding is only half access here. When you have half access glyphs like that, shenanigans are usually involved. Okay. In 50th place, we dropped to 58 area. Ghost Boots. The notes say, and the peculiar thing is this, my friends. The solve that won on that fateful day, it didn't actually look anything like this solve. I am aware that that stream is lagging right now. I'm not sure how much more I can do about that without making the stream itself look terrible. More trouble with reshaping because of the partial access bonder. But that's just what you have to do. In 49th place, at 53 area, IB Paran. The notes say, second iteration saved 4 area from last. I'm usually quite a lurker, so I never thought I would participate in any sort of community event. That aside, thank you for the tournament. I've had good fun challenging myself in ways I've never done before, despite having the game since the day of its release. If I can catch the next event before it passes me by, it would be nice to step outside my comfort zone once more. Cheers! So in a lot of previous solutions, we have had a length 2 arm. Big E's solution was... This is more like Big E's solution, where it has a length of 1 arm. And there's just a whole lot of stuff piled upon that single 10 hex area here. In 48th place, with 52 area, Elatas. The notes say, I tried to get 90 for several hours and gave up. I found like 15 different layouts for it that almost worked, and it was very not fun. That is my experience with cost puzzles in general. I'm just curious to me about this solution. So this is just already completed. It can be let go here. But I won't tinker. In 47th place, we have Stack Babber. The notes say, I am dying to know how many people got down to 100G and if anyone got lower. I am 99% sure that 100G is theory min for primary, but with overlap, everything goes out the window, I think. I don't even know anymore. This tournament has been a blast and I'm for sure coming back next year, but I'm also not mad it's coming to an end. Because of this output's shape, there is some consideration for what the final bond you want to be is. And for a lot of solutions, the final bond is just whichever one I can put on there because the layout is constrained. But if you do have that freedom, it's nice to exercise it. In 46th place, we'll take a tertiary drop with Not Great. For the most part, the order of the glyphs being overlapped onto each other is an aesthetic choice. It will matter for certain ideas, but not most of them. That's why this is... I wanted that to be true, and that's why this is an overlap cost puzzle instead of, say, overlap cycles, which would involve even more shenanigans than you're seeing already. The notes say, not exactly the most elegant of solutions, but I think this is Minji. There's a way to do it without the track, isn't there? In 45th place, we drop one area, Cuckoo 52. A lot of shuffling that makes this resemble an air. The shuffling resembles that of an area solution, even though this is cost. And obviously, all this stuff over here is not area. This is just like a storage hex in addition to being debonder access. Okay, in 44th place and 44 area, we have Iris. There are no notes. So one arm with no track and like an additional bonder and debonder and such. That may be a tall order, given that without the freedom of translation, your area will be hindered. So you would have to do better in area secondary than Iris if you pick the extra bonder or extra debonder route. Yeah, Wing Pearl is observing the disposal on top tech, which, yes, that moment with purification. So, as mentioned in the puzzle description, the order of the glyphs does matter sometimes. The ones on the bottom fire first, so when that tin is dropped, there's a glyph of purification underneath and a glyph of disposal on top. If so, the glyph of purification actually fires first and creates that iron. Any other atom dropped in that hex makes it to the glyph of disposal, which gets rid of it. It's a cool idea. In 43rd place, we take a tertiary drop, Greenfield. Greenfield was saying he was next in chat like 10 solutions ago. We are in the pile-up now, though. There are no notes. Both purification and unification have their unification have their production hex on the same place, which is where this calcifier is as well. This is, of course, a reference to the game's error messages, and I think more specifically, the way modding plays with error messages sometimes. And Greenfield is very modding active. In 42nd place and 43 area, Amaranth. Well, if you say so. The notes say, quite busy this week, and I expended all my energy looking for 90G, which I did not find, so I quickly slammed together the best 100G I could put together in a rush, and will handle the rest of my life now. The tournament was a blast, thanks to everyone who made it happen. By the way, did you know that apparently Opus Magnum has, like, an integrity check on its sound files? I tried replacing the Glyph of Disposal sound effect with something else before stream, but didn't work out. This is what the Glyph of Disposal looks like when it gets angry. In 41st place and 41 area, Eggsucker 888. The notes say, you can't make me use half-access debonder, I have my principles. Plus, even if I did try half-access debonder, I wouldn't even fail it, so I don't know why you suggested that. This sounds like comments on trying 90G. So this kind of even doesn't look like area secondary, and yet it is pretty good on area secondary. Sweet. It's a big molecule, so you get stuff like this up here, but that's normal. In 40th place, 4 instructions fewer, we have Avenged Ruler. The notes say, I cannot convincingly disprove Theoryman, but I also don't think I have a way to make it, so submitting this. Good overlap utilization, but secondary isn't the greatest. We'll see where it lands. It lands here. So if anyone's not clear on what's going on with the glyph disposal, that's where the fire input is, and the fire input is only ever stays on the board per se for unification. It's as if this is an empty hex. Miner Man is asking if we can see the 51st base without the lag. Okay, I'll try changing the codec settings. Okay, let's go back to 51st place, see if this helps. Yeah, Winged Pearl, the problem is with my video encoder, and since video is more efficient if the frames look subsequent frames look similar to one another. That's why there's a dip, because there's a lot of new information. Yeah. Looking for reasons why this stream is so bad today. I'm not finding them. Okay, I'm just going to try to move on to 39th place now. Woo, lag spike. Woo, lag spike. The notes say, rotated the bottom two inputs to be more area efficient, saving 2 area. I was hoping I could solve this one at min cost, but I'm not quite ready for what that would entail. I am happy with my solution nonetheless, as I still got to have fun with the implications of overlap and flirt with no access just a little. My first version of this solution was at 51 area, which I thought I could never bring down, but I thought better, and I have brought it down to 39. Hopefully that small number makes the stream happy before it inevitably jumps into the thousands. So it really helps your area if the middle bond is the one you form last. Okay, in 38th place with 38 area, we have Miculeus. There are no notes. Yeah, we are oddly consistent with placement lining up with area secondary. Obviously that can't continue all the way to first place, but it's fun while it lasts. Also, I don't have any yappers with me on stream right now, so that's why there are extended periods of me not saying anything. In 37th place with 36 area, we have Captain Idjit. Suggestive title. So here's the bonder. That Crytelehex is used. In 36th place, also with 36 area, just lower secondary, we have Vilfuck. Oh, we've been in this pile up for a while. There are no notes. In 35th place with 35 area, we have Fran. The notes say, "What a solve, what a solve, what a solve, what a mighty good solve." Sung to the tune of Salt and Peppa's 1993 hit, What a Man. I have never heard that song, so unfortunately I did not sing it to the tune. Okay, I'm going to move on from this because I just know there was a huge lag spike there. In 34th place with 34 area, we have Gigi Gull. So this is different. No disposal, length to arm. Lots of different little pieces. Yes, a lot of work in making sure one of these middle bonds is the last ones to be formed. In 33rd place, with 34 area and a secondary drop, Zandorf. There are no notes. One thing that I have not mentioned so far is that part of this molecule has a distinct C shape, which allows you to, via pivots, sort of reach around single atoms, which is demonstrated here. Let's zoom in on that happening. So this salt atom is stuck here, but this molecule kind of reaches around it. Now, a bond is also formed in the process, which is not normally done in cost. This is overlap cost, so things are a little different, but it does make its way over to the glyph of unbonding, and so that glyph, that atom is placed back where it came from. So that does allow. That did allow the C, which is what was originally here, where the air atom output goes, and it was passed over the salt because of its shape. In 32nd place, also 34 area and another tertiary drop, we have dark brick. There are no notes. Here the last bond is between the quintessence and the cardinal side. I think a lot of people had that experience, Dark Brick. It is a cost puzzle, after all. In 31st place and 31 area, we have Poutineery. Problems with the parser, just a moment. Yeah, there's lag. Okay. The notes say, overlap was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Thank you for the tournament. And thank you for participating. In 30th place, the secondary drop, we have Joseph. Not a secondary drop, a tertiary drop. Did I say secondary? I meant tertiary. Whatever. Some instruction tape gaps, I think. These are used for organization of what happens, the solution, while working on it, I think. Okay, in 29th place at 30 area, we have Winter 1703. The notes say, just found that you can suppress a single atom input by unsuppressing another input, and moves the grab atoms onto the input to suppress which is being consumed by a glyph in overlap. Would this trick enable the hard mode 90G? Again, I don't know, maybe? Also, the way you wrote that first half of the note just makes me think of a hot food oven Garfield meme. Anyway, forming the curly end last. Oh, sorry, Joseph. Let's see. I think in your solution, your notes were 90 cost feels tantalizingly close to being possible. I really hope it is, honestly, even if I don't get it, just so I can see how it works. I really did enjoy this puzzle, but I'm also disappointed since the computation puzzle was the thing I was most looking forward to in the tournament once I learned it was the norm. Okay. A Fallen Healer, 28th place. Still at 30 area. 104 instructions. The notes say, this is it, my magnum opus, observe and weep. Now watch me get 97th again. We haven't had 97 submitters in ages at this point. Yeah, I guess disposal is just for vibes, since all that space would be used anyway. I mean, it's overlap. You can kind of put the disposal wherever you want, but still. Okay, in 27th place at 29 area, Hokuri. Notes say, I think 29 might actually be min area. Removing the last area also saved quite some instructions. It was the spot next to the air. Moving the purification allowed me to bind Moore's iron the right way around. I think better solves either have blinding stew or better layout for instructions. There is no blinding stew this week, whatever that means. I think it was supposed to mean the tech that it was obvious to everyone besides you, but I don't get the meme. Anyway, thank you for submitting, Hokuri. Okay. Dropping 94 instructions. We have flames. There are no notes. And Glyph of Disposal is doing its thing, so I assume people are going to start complaining about lagged now. Okay, good.
Hey, Kazian, am I coming through?
Oh! Hello!
Hang on, you're not... Oh, wait, there you go. You just unmuted.
Yes. Oh, hello there.
Sorry, I fell asleep, dude. Before I got your message.
Yeah. I wasn't really expecting you to respond anyway, since I said yes like 45 minutes before stream, and you're in a different hemisphere. So,
How you doing, everyone? I'm oddly well rested for it being 1:30 in the morning, so let's smash out the top 25, I guess.
yeah, let's crush this top 25.
Home stretch, actually.
Okay. 25th place. Still at 29 area, but we dropped 2 instructions. It's Shavor. Yep, it's just 2 instructions.
Oh boy.
Notes say, I still think 90 costs could be possible, but I tried a lot and couldn't make it work. I have another variant of this layout with disposal under the arm. It has the exact same stats, but this one has the advantage that we get at least some breaks from the constant disposal noise. And yes, that is why I have turned down the game audio because the Glyph of Disposal is going to sing the song of its people a lot during this stream.
I tried nothing, and I was all out of ideas. Nah, I did look briefly at 90G and wish I had the time and energy for it, to be honest. Well, actually, I had the time, just not the energy, because journals.
So it goes. Okay. 24th place, we go to 28 area with Zene.
So it does go below 29 area.
Yes, it does go below 29 area. 29 area was not min. The notes say, it has been interesting learning to take advantage of the opportunities this exploit provides. I think I did alright in the time I had. MK tests, yeah, looking for min and not finding it tends to be how cost goes. At least the cost puzzles that the community likes to talk about.
It can be... It's actually hard when you're designing a cost puzzle like that, because you have to actually also, like, hope that whatever's not min is also interesting enough to optimize for, and it's not just like a 12-way tie for min plus 10 or whatever.
Yeah, that was an issue when I was making stuff for the tournament as well. I mentioned in the previous stream that Intumescent Lead was originally intended to be a cost like, but I just could not make it work. Not without like changing some colors on the output shape, and the thing is, if you change any of the colors on the output shape, the molecule looks stupid, so I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, because I did think it looked like it had some sort of cost bones under it when I first saw that puzzle. Because it was kind of latch hooking with its triplexed water.
Yeah, wasn't meant to be though. It was an area puzzle the whole time.
I liked your grab metric though. That was just like instructions, but interesting.
Yeah. In 23rd place at 26 area, we have Lilia.
Lily is another new player who's come through and really kicked ass over the course of this tournament as the player skill has grown.
I know, right?
We do keep saying playing the tournament is the fastest way to improve, and it's because of cracked players like Lilia that we say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a moment. Having trouble with the parser. Okay, there we go. The notes say, my first 100G solution had a length 2 arm, but then I discovered that length 1 arm was possible. Unless I missed some hidden tech, it's impossible to solve with bin glyphs at a single trackless arm, meaning this is bin glyphs. I can't find any hexes to save, but I wouldn't be surprised if bin area is even lower. There might be instructions to be saved, but it's too close to the deadline, so if I missed any of those, oh well. Disposal is having a feast. Om nom 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 nom. I am actually surprised that disposal position works and doesn't crash.
Well, tracks aren't a glyph, so
Yeah, this is... Hmm. Disposal is a glyph though, so this might not be min glyphs. Like even if
yeah,
we pretend glyph of equilibrium is not a glyph.
yeah. I forgot disposals may not actually be needed, from what I read.
Equilibrium honorary mechanism instead of glyph. In 22nd place with 25 area, we have tunnel vision. The notes say, this was my first time doing overlap, so I don't expect to have done well, but it was a lot of fun. This is a lot of players' first times doing overlap. Because overlap is a silly glitch that happens instead of a real metric.
It's insane that we're able to even convert overlap into a real metric in the first place.
Yeah, it is 2026. So I figured the community is finally ready for it. But there's a
I thought
reason.
it was a, I thought it was a great idea for the finale puzzle.
Yeah, there is a reason it's only for the finale puzzle. Chat is saying stream is dying again.
Mine's been choppy the whole time, so I'm a terrible frame of reference.
Yeah, there is something
One of
wrong.
my related.
There's something wrong with my video encoder. I don't understand what's happening and why it's happening this week, but it is. If the YouTube video is unwatchable, then oh well.
I remember I did the 2024 tournament before upgrading my computer, and now that I've like upgraded the computer, it was like, man, this could have been helpful instead of all those like streams where my computer was chugging.
Yeah. My computer is as upgraded as it can be given its age, but whatever.
Eh.
Okay, enough computer talk. On to more solution talk. In 21st place, tertiary dropping to 184 instructions, we have Olivia Juliet. Yeah. Probably that, Zanuck.
Secondary's dropping quite a lot, actually. 25's respectably low, very respectably low.
The notes say, this is not my best work. I spent way too much time on 90 costs this week. It so almost works. I have multiple solutions that are one move away from glory, not even stuck in the same place. I can do any individual part of the puzzle in 90G, but inevitably, somewhere will trip me up. Part of me wants to spend more time on this to crack this nut at any cost. Another, larger part of me is sick to death of it and wants to just be done with it. I don't know if I want 90 to be possible or not. Would I rather have been bashing my head against an unsolvable problem or have failed to achieve my goal despite many hours of effort? I suspect neither option will bring me peace, though.
Speaking from personal experience, I usually would rather it have been impossible and for me to have been wasting my time than for it to have been possible and me missing it, because then there's just this like, damn, there was a light at the end of the tunnel the whole time, I just couldn't see it, versus, oh good, at least there wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel and I was right to like hunt. It's like that mining meme where the guy gives up right before he hits the diamond.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy.
At least when I'm working on just random leaderboard metrics for a random puzzle, I can be like, wow, I'm sure this is possible, but nobody cares about it right now except for me, so I can't get too worked up about it.
Yeah, actually, that's a reassurance.
And also with leaderboard solutions, you can if you find the strat, you can phone in the strat and somebody will fix it for you.
I actually like using that as like, okay, cool, I can sit on this for a couple of days and fix it myself, just like quietly tinker with it, and then if I've got the thing fixed, it's like, oh cool, I get to submit something awesome.
Yeah. In 20th place, 146 instructions, no tertiary change. Brother Mojo.
Ooh, the secondaries are drying up. I wonder if we're getting close. Imagine working on a puzzle without a deadline. Yeah, it's fun.
Deadlines are for real work.
I'm sorry, I would be doing more commentary, but... Oh yeah, okay, cool. I got my stream back.
Yeah. So here, the quintessence is the last atom formed, and the two bonds to it are, in turn, the last two bonds formed, with just a translation in between them instead of a rotation. That seems to be what was setting apart these low area 100 Gs from the higher area ones, not having to rotate and swing around the big completed molecule.
Great Critelli, by the way.
I know, right? Okay. In 19th place, down to 127 instructions, Jarecki. I can see OBS complaining about the encoding again, so there's likely going to be lag.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen the... Oh, wait, I'm about to. There it is.
Okay. Oh, I was so focused on previous stuff that I just did not read Brother Mojo's wonderful notes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to that. Okay, Brother Mojo's notes. Conditions seem to be right to make a 90 cost possible. We can only access 3/5 of the Glyph of Unification with a length 1 fixed arm, but we don't need to access fire or water for anything other than unification. So those reagents can be positioned permanently on the 2 glyph inputs we can't reach. If necessary, disposal could be layered on one of them so it doesn't get in the way while we build our product, but ordered so unification gets first dibs to the atom once the other 3 are in place. Similarly, we can only access 2/3 of purification with a length 1 fixed arm, but there are two options for mitigating that. A half-access bonder could allow us to pick up an iron once we can't reach once it spawns from the glyph, or a half-access unbonder could allow us to drop a tin on the glyph input that's out of reach. Once all that's in place, we're left with a geometry nightmare. The necessary elemental air reagent means we can't fully circle the arm as we work. At least one of the stranded water and fire reagents is going to be sitting in the way as well, so even making a C shape won't save us. We can semi-permanently suppress one of the two atom inputs, so we can have 4 access points to work in, but making the necessary 120 and 180 degree bonds is awkward with the bonder angle to pick up iron. Breaking off the necessary atoms is awkward with an unbonder angled to feed purification, and many of your atoms will only have one angle of approach to your bonder, so build order is going to be very sensitive. I suspect someone will find a way to do it, but if these notes make it to the deadline, that means I couldn't. Okay, let's go back to where we were. The notes say, finally happy with this one. Overlap was fun to play with, but the variety of layouts was a bit overwhelming. Hopefully I settled on one of the better ones. Thanks for the tournament. I am glad I was able to participate. And thank you for participating, Jareki.
I think one thing I like about this puzzle being the last puzzle of the tournament is that I always thought the last puzzle of the tournament is like the perfect spot for whatever the tournament organizer's most monumental challenge was. And that statement does not necessarily have to apply to computation. Because there are like insane shit like whatever the hell Criterion is, or this, or overlap cost monster that like is up there with any cost monster, or whatever the hell Goodbye Galaxy is going to cook up. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do when you're told you don't have to worry about the player like at all, and you can just come up with the most wild shit possible, but like in a good way.
Yeah. Though in the playtest server, I was kind of thinking of week 9 as the final boss, because week 10 is like the secret boss that gets the freedom motif. Anyway.
Yeah, okay, nah.
I'm gonna move on to 18th place now. We're going to take a big secondary drop to 21 area. Zenik. The overlay is not properly updated, but there you go.
Oh, okay, because I forgot what number you said, but someone said it in chat.
Yeah.
Good. 21 area is that's a sudden drop.
Yeah. The notes say, I tried Min for a bit. It seemed very difficult to juggle half-access debonders, so I threw something together with track in 42 area. Days later, I came back and put the track into the debonder to save half of that. Made it a lot easier to program as a full access debonder too. Shame about the hexes I only used once, but that's area. I do hope someone managed Min. Myself, I just don't feel like trying to make a 6p lustrous wandering monstrosity, which is what I imagine it must be.
See, this solve overlaps the actual output and embeds it within the area footprint of the solve in a way that's a lot nicer than the other solves have up to this point.
Yes, this is better resembling overlap area than overlap cost at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, this wouldn't be too far away from overlap area.
Yeah. Though we still have a few equilibrium hexes. Let's get rid of a few of them. In 17th place, with 18 area, MK Tess.
Well, that was quick. Yeah, sure. Wow, this morphed into an overlap area stream so gradually I didn't even notice.
Having a moment with the parser, please wait.
Okay, it actually is an overlap area thing to not worry about using a piston, according to Brother Mojo. So it actually does feel like overlap area for realsies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that almost looks like overlap area.
The notes say, I really have tried to look for the 90G, but alas, could not find it. There isn't enough space to maneuver everything around, although I have found a lot of tech, some of which I reused in the solve. Oh well, here's a quick 30-minute solve at 100G instead. I suspect min area at 100G to be about 15 or 16 with some clever space reuse, but I don't have enough time left to look for it. This was a fun tournament, and I hope I can get better for the next one. Congratulations to everyone who participated, since this is such a wacky and fun tournament, and I hope everyone had fun, since that is the most important thing. A lot of people had fun. A lot of people had Type 2 fun.
What's Type 2 fun?
Yeah, that comes from like a joke infographic where Type 1 is fun in the moment. Type 2 is something that is not fun in the moment, but will be a good story later.
Oh, okay. So it's like quote unquote fun, kind of.
Yes. The infographic also says there's also Type 3 fun, which is not fun even in retrospect, and I don't understand that.
That's just not fun.
Correct. Okay.
Okay, so the fact that this was like done in like, sorry, real quick. The fact this was done, I mean, MK Test sounded pretty confident. Area goes lower, and that this was like whipped up together in half an hour or something. So maybe area goes lower.
Well, for now, we are going to have a tertiary drop of 3 instructions to 204. Spiritual Shampoo. And something very unexpected here is that there are notes which Spiritual Shampoo never writes. He says,
Oh, interesting.
recent tournaments favored simple puzzles over complicated ones. This is unfortunate for me, since simple puzzles reward thorough analysis of the solution space, while complicated puzzles demand trial and error. My analytical skills are practically non-existent, and time has exposed me as a fraud. Spiritual Shampoo is just coping, I think.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, one thing I was gonna say is that I know Spiritual Shampoo's taken a bit of a break from the community at the moment, so he might be around for the weeklies. If not, this might be the last time we've seen him for a while. So I don't know. I hope he's doing okay.
There have been some ups and downs in the community around Shampoo, and I can agree with that. I hope he's doing fine.
I will concur. This had new solution. Well, I guess it's new solution 2 energy since that's what it is. But I was gonna say new solution 1 energy, but
Lilia,
like in a good way.
Lilia, yeah, the stream is buffering for other people. It's been a problem for the entire stream. I have set my video encoding settings as low as they will go. I do not know what the problem is. I don't know how to fix it.
This was almost as shocking as when Cuckoo52 wrote notes. That one is still the one that caught me the most off guard.
In 15th place, we're going to drop tertiary some more with John John. There are no notes. It was just another baller 18 area.
Baller 18 area. Interesting 18 area suddenly seemed like a natural stopping point after spending a while at like, what was it, 25 area? Dropping straight to 18. And now we're at the 18 pile-up.
Yeah, there was a pile-up of 25, then a 21 by Zanuck, and now the 18 pile-up. Okay. Chat, do you want to see 90G?
The people yearn for 90G.
Because 90G was possible.
14 people got it.
Yes.
Whew. I don't recall seeing anyone predict more than 10, so that's a surprising number.
In 14th place, at 90G and 55 area, we have Rosa.
It really is impossible to design a truly dubious post puzzle.
It just doesn't exist. Okay. Here is what it looks like.
Oh, Kelly Race is still one time. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Here is what it looks like to not need track.
Sorry, I was going to say, Cali Races actually did successfully predict more than 10, so not everyone got that part wrong. .55 area is a very respectable starting point too for secondary. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, that Insana intermediary was pure purification access, if I'm not mistaken. This one is for something completely different. Okay, that must have been Bonder no, well, the Bonder's right there. It can't be Bonder access. Well.
It's because of the half-access debonder, I think.
I see.
The notes say, the tricky thing with this puzzle is purification access, which I found most promising to solve with half-axis debonder. Overlapping the debonder with disposal means I can get rid of atoms relatively easily, and overlapping it further with a fire atom and unification leaves most of unification's hexes as free working space. After this, blocking input on antimony gives me a truly luxurious 4 directions of basically free space to work with. In practice, the most important thing that this layout enabled is the creation and disposal of air atom scaffolding, which is used first to juggle an earth from one side to the other to make quintessence, and later to enable spinning the product around to fix a couple of bonds I could not otherwise get to without breaking the molecule.
Oh, okay, so it was a bonder thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's kind of hilarious that bonder access is optional here and not just in some polymer puzzle. So you actually do still have the challenge of having to drop it. Sorry.
In 13th place, taking a secondary drop, Goodbye Galaxy.
Nice. I was half expecting him at the top end of the secondary pile up with the 18 area solves, but got him in. Nice.
The notes say, okay, fine, I'll do overlap. Maybe it's recency bias, but I think this might be the most labor-intensive solve I've ever created. But I'm happy with my first and last overlap solve. Thanks, Kasian, for running a thoroughly enjoyable tournament, width notwithstanding. And congrats to all newcomers who stuck it out to the end. I'll see you all on YouTube. It's pretty on brand for width for it to be the exception called out to a good tournament.
Oh, width. How we try to make you work. Yes, I would be shocked if the 2027 tournament used overlap. I would be even more shocked if it used width. Okay, so was this the exact same area count, or was the last one a 56?
Same area count. This was a tertiary drop.
Cue a tertiary drop. The 55 area tie. The 55 area log jam is gonna be insane.
Yeah. So in 12th place, dropping some tertiary to 270, we have Ebenov.
It really is a 55 area pile up.
The notes say, Trail's End. The throwing ring saved me several times. Full access unification, full access bonder, half access debonder feeding purification. Disposal on fire to make more space. Equilibrium marks the tiles earth and air pass and cannot be calcifiers. What I like about this layout is that I can bond many things without debonder in the way, and debond many things without bonder in the way. What's cursed about this layout is that bonder lies in the end of usable space, and there's no storage on the other side. Once quint is made, every bonding involves it. This means that I need to prepare Mors and iron very well before I unify. I also lied about bonder and debonder not in the way of each other. Walking a 3-atom long straight molecule wall is actually almost impossible. In the end, this solve was saved by getting final earth and air sorted out before debonding quint iron. Salute to one-upping previous G puzzles. You did it, Kasian. Salute to all who ventured into waste structures.
I can't quite turn the GA part of my brain on just yet, without seeing like a real secondary drop at min area, but this is starting to look more like a GA puzzle, finally. It was looking like a straight up area puzzle for a while there. I'm curious to see where the GA stuff comes in, because the area secondary was the correct choice for the secondary, if you ask me, because GA is kind of the deepest and darkest forest among the cost secondaries. Well, instructions can be pretty wild sometimes.
Sometimes cost instruction is wild. Other times it's a cost with cycle secondary, but I forget to reset the arm at the end, and it spends half of the time just flailing around.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. In 11th place, that's 53 area, Zerfink. The notes say, "Great tournament, great puzzles, it was really fun to participate. We'll most likely participate again next year. Thank you."
I hope some of these new players stick around for some journal optimization. I imagine a lot won't, because the tournament motivates people in a way that regular puzzles simply don't. But I would be real curious to see what a lot of these like new optimizers do with some of the metrics and all the new journal puzzles. Zerfink being one of them. Also, I will get my revenge for being alphabetically beaten.
Real. And the good thing about the journal puzzle is that you can just pick the metric that you like for all of them, instead of having to put up with whatever it is I do.
Well, actually, your puzzles are about to, I don't know when it happens, but yeah, your puzzles are about to join the leaderboard as well, so.
Yeah.
That becomes a thing. I could boot this up and solve for, I don't know, TI.
That sounds very quote-unquote fun.
Is that type 2 fun or type 3 fun?
Depends on what kind of optimizer you are. Okay, in 10th place at 51 area, we have a Grape Jelly Singularity. The notes say, "Sound warning! Calcification feeling a bit left out over there in the corner. Every single other useful glyph shares the hex just to the upper right of the arm. The ordering of that stack is surprisingly specific. This is min cost unless I'm completely missing some Farlands tech or something that lets you move atoms around without an arm. The MVP this shouldn't work piece of tech in this solve is the creation of the iron atom. A tin is unbonded directly onto disposal and just sits there at the end of the cycle. The beginning of the next cycle, the arm drops the other tin and the protection triggers before the other tin is eaten. I didn't do any area optimization here, the movement is already pretty finicky and specific. I'm curious to see what other layouts or sequencing will beat this." So, what a Grape Jelly Singularity is referring to is there's some finicky things about consumption glyphs, such as purification, disposal, etc. I think it might still work if purification was on top of disposal, but it also works the other way around, because the thing is, like, consumption glyphs, so there's a deal with consumption glyphs in overlap that doesn't occur in non-overlap situations, where the if if an atom is part of a molecule but is debonded to become a lone atom, that lone atom won't be consumed by any of the consumption glyphs until the start of the next cycle because of code reasons. You can look into like Grimmy's overlap theory stuff to figure out why, but the important part is that you can make it work in a overlap cost context without having to know too much about that. You just try the different glyph orders until it does what you want it to do.
Speaking of overlap theory, I have to ask, how deeply did you delve into the overlap trenches before you were confident this was like a sufficiently hard overlap cost puzzle?
I did testing with a few different kinds of glyphs. I knew from the start that purification was going to be involved because purification is a glyph that works if it works for min cost in overlap, but not in any other cost puzzle. So I looked for other glyphs that share a property with that, and unification was the one that solved all of my puzzle design problems, or rather created more puzzle design problems. But then the problems were the responsibility of the solver, not me.
They were still problems. They were no longer your problems.
Right. Yeah. Chad is talking about overlap theory. Theory would have been way more relevant if this was an actual overlap area puzzle or overlap cycles. This is why it's cost. So there are fewer parts to worry about.
Hopefully I'm not speaking out of line here, but I always thought overlap rate seemed like the one with the deepest theory.
That is also a correct take. I still don't understand Quicksilver agitation.
No.
Anyway, in 9th place, 44 area, we have HMAG.
Okay, that's a nice area drop.
The notes say, "Thanks for the tournament." And thank you for participating.
Nouvelle solution 1. It's way more poetic. Okay, I'm liking... Alright, there is clear syrup tech happening here that I'm liking because it means you only have to swing the molecule in a couple of directions here.
It is good stuff. Also, really tidy calcifier placement.
Hmm. Yeah, just it's neatly out of the way for any of your syrup shenanigans, but it's right there when you actually do need it. I really do think the advent of syrup tech has made these cost monsters easier.
Oh, for sure. Like, I'm not really great at cost, but when we were thinking about how to do a Glittra paint min cost, I I kind of just made the lustrous syrup layout and then pushed stuff around in OM clone until it worked. And then people who are actually good at cost solved the puzzle and it got out burritoed, as it should have been. Okay. In 8th place, with 43 area, Shino. Yes, it is one of, if not the cost puzzle.
I think 8th place is. I think that's too high for Biggie to catch. I don't know how many points Biggie was behind Shino, but I think it was more than a couple. Yeah, it was like 3 and a bit. Yeah, I think Shino's wrapped up 3rd place with this showing.
Congratulations, Shino.
Congrats indeed.
The notes say I made a 100 G solve first, which got down to 22A. It's titled "Please No Cost Mains at 90G." Yet here we are. Yeah, Zorflex. Biggie put a lot of work into getting 90 cost and just couldn't make it work. And in the end,
so Biggie's like compensation solve did not turn up in the top 30 as a result.
Yeah,
Giving up on 90, I'm guessing.
So yes, Shino has this wrapped up.
Sheena had this wrapped up an hour ago, in other words.
Yes. So, round of applause for Shino for being on the podium for the entire tournament. Let's proceed to 7th place, 41 area, Mr. Puzzle.
Yeah, Callie Reeses points out it was always going to be hard, even if Biggie won. Like, all Shino needs is a top 20 placement.
There are no notes.
Does that put Mr. Puzzle ahead of Goodbye Galaxy? Wait, locks him in ahead of Goodbye Galaxy. That sounds like content.
B. Jonas.
Yeah, B. Jonas. Oh, sorry, you go.
The 100G solutions had track. It's just that in a lot of them you couldn't see the track.
Okay, 41 area. We're still getting a bit lower. I'm having trouble passing the solve for the time being, but I don't. So that bonder placement tells me no syrup this time. Just clever intermediaries.
Yep, it's just intermediaries.
Yeah. Ah, there we go. Got my stream back.
It makes the creation of intermediaries look really breezy, because once you're done with your scaffolding, you kind of just dump it into disposal with a few pivots here and there. In 6th place, with 39 area, we have Rebix.
Oh, we got a few people ahead of Rebix on a cost puzzle.
The notes say, um, oh, there are no notes for this version. There were notes for a previous version, but yeah.
Hubris indeed.
It is hardly hubris in Reb's placement. He could have just not submitted and still won the tournament.
That would have been an insane statement, but I don't think Rebix would have wanted to miss out on the cost puzzle.
Right.
One general point I did want to make, if it hadn't already been made, is that this is a lot of I imagine this is a lot of people's first GA puzzle, even if it's a very non-traditional GA puzzle. The tenets of GA remains, especially here, where you get to put like the bonder overlapped with the debonder. It does mean intermediaries are still a very important part of this. I wonder if it is in the intermediary choices where Rebix's solve here might be getting outclassed.
We shall see soon enough.
Oh, were there notes?
There are no notes for this version of the submission. Rubik's had a previous version with a few extra area that said something on the lines of, and if I'm wrong with the title, it will at least be funny.
Well, it's slightly funny. I thought it was funny.
So yes, Rebix, congratulations on winning the tournament, and by like a lot. You've mentioned like the unemployment buff, but like you're also just unparalleledly really good at this game. It has been great to see what you do with my puzzles.
The consistency was insane, even with the unemployment buff.
Okay, in 5th place, same secondary but improvement on tertiary, we have a tertiary tie.
So true.
The notes say, I struggled all week to get past the first 4 atoms of the output until I discovered what I'm calling the phantom atom technique, which blew the puzzle wide open, and also blows off the ears of anyone listening to the puzzle run. The phantom fire atom lies directly on the disposal output, so it never exists during collision checking and is effectively intangible. Yeah, the atom becomes intangible for the same reason that you can drop something on disposal and swing something over disposal in a non-overlap context. Philfuck is observing that the atom that gets disposed has basically always been fire when water is an equally valid option.
No stabbing water for us. Sorry, what were you gonna?
That is a better comment than what I had.
Oh. Yeah, actually, Kelly raises a good point. I distinctly remember this layout. I'm pretty sure was Mr. Puzzle's layout.
Good observation.
Okay, so yeah, better look at the intermediaries. The stream clearing up. Yeah. Yeah, the intermediaries are getting smaller and neater and easier to work with.
In 4th place, 36 area, Winged Pearl.
Imagine it being your first tournament and you get 4th place on the overlap cost monster. Okay, we have Quintessence.
This is another version of the layout TM.
Okay, so I think I'm not entirely sure here, but the biggest intermediary I saw was like 6 atoms large, and it was a ball. So we're getting right down there with the area count here, I think.
I can agree with that. And snapping the cardinal end on looks really easy by comparison.
Yeah, it does.
In 3rd place, at 34 area, Love Math Boy.
Imagine getting 3rd place on the overlap cost monster in your first tournament.
I know, right? This I believe is Love Math Boy's first foray into overlap. Period. The notes. The notes say, "Wow, what a finale puzzle." I felt this puzzle genuinely achieved an excellent balance between being a tournament finale and being an introduction to overlap, which I didn't think was possible until I was hours deep into the puzzle. Thank you for hosting the tournament, and thank you for creating these beautiful puzzles. Before this puzzle, I was a non-overlapping purist and had never ever touched overlap, but man, this puzzle has corrupted me into wanting to use overlap in everything. Come Monday, I thought I couldn't be missing that much overlap tech, but decided to check the OG leaderboard just in case. I was flashbanged by an unbelievable amount of blinding stew. Putting an input over disposal and an arm? Using bonder/debonder plus conduit to duplicate atoms? Blasphemy! This solution stays at 29 area for most of the construction, but 2 unfortunate swings near the end take 3A and 2A, respectively. Especially the 2 hexes in the top left that's only used to store the molecule at the end.
That makes me wonder how low area does go if it goes below 30. Also, yeah, overlap is just a very blinding stew constriction or not constriction. Like, imagine you've just solved the campaign. You're like, ooh, I wonder what the community's doing. And they come straight to this stream, and they're looking at this, and I don't know how the hell you're supposed to understand that.
You don't. Also, good practice by Love Math Boy in checking the leaderboards if you don't understand how to do a metric.
Very good practice.
Congratulations on getting to the podium, Love Math Boy. It's been great having you. In 2nd place, at 29 area, Whoosh Push.
Wow. Whoosh Push. Oh, very nice. Okay, so it immediately drops to 29. Okay.
Yeah. Casual 5 area between friends.
Oh, wow.
There are no notes.
The solution speaks for itself.
It's overlap. It can't speak for itself. Wow. So this is not the layout. This is different.
This is different, yeah. Hang on, press P real quick. A lot of the swung over hex was below the layout. I noticed.
Rabix is pointing out this doesn't even have a phantom atom.
Wow, that's actually a somewhat big intermediary for this area count. But it's literally only the one swing the whole time. So it's literally just that one swing with the big intermediary that covers almost every hex minus arm and quintessence and all that. This looks like a very deliberate 29 area. I know exactly which hexes I'm going to use from cycle 1, and I'm going to plan the solve out with those exact hexes in mind, and does so beautifully.
Congratulations on getting to the podium, Wish Push. This looks like it's pretty close to the God OGA solution. That said, you can remove one more hex. In first place, 28 area Calioresis.
The dog solve.
Okay, calcifier over the quintessence part of the output is pretty swag.
Yeah, wow, yeah, that is a bold calcifier.
There are no notes.
Okay. Sorry, my stream's choppy, so I haven't gotten a good look at the intermediaries yet, but I'm very curious because that is not... I'm looking at that swing space, and that is a very constrained swing space. Okay, so this is the layout, apparently.
So, the thing is that there kind of aren't intermediaries.
Oh, what a shit time to get a lag spike.
Yeah,
It happens. Alright, hang on, it's clearing up, I think.
it's not clearing up. I can see the drop frames counter going way up on my end. Okay.
We're just gonna have to accept that it's blinding stew, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So, like I was saying, there kind of aren't intermediaries in this construction.
Ah, cleared up. Okay, let's go. Alright, so we have our iron. Strap our Moors on, and we can just immediately chuck out the 10. It's very nicely calculated. Alright. We've kind of... Yeah, they just aren't intermediaries. Okay, that just works. That looks so easy. Yeah, I think this is just the correct solve. Intermediaries are for nerds.
This makes this puzzle look like not a cost monster.
Okay, I can see how clever that calcifier placement is, though, increasingly. It's really handy for the end. I wonder if that calcified placement has something to do with you not needing intermediaries. Maybe. I don't think so, but God, that is such a big-brained calcifier placement. God, it works so perfectly with the quint placement, the disposal placement. Ugh.
This is beautiful.
God, this almost looks like the intended solution. I know I know you never really tell a puzzle designer this is the intended solution because there are no intended solutions, but this looks like the canon solution. Maybe I'll say that. The C storage spot, very important. That's a good shout, actually. I really like, yeah, because that's the only real swing that happens is that one C shape being swung once. And it's directly over the output. So it doesn't have to be like, it's not like a ball and it doesn't clip. That's probably almost where the hex is saved, dare I suggest. Vilfolk's wondering about what your area count was.
You think I got min on this crap? That
You did it. You did it.
was one last favor. Never ask me for a cost puzzle ever again.
And in zeroth place, the playtest solved.
Thank you all for participating in the 2026 Opus Magnum tournament. It's been a hell of a ride. I'm thankful to every one of you who solved my puzzles from snow amputation to one last favor. I'm pleased for those of you who are invested in the goofy little storyline that I cooked up. And I am happy to be able to go back to participating in the Opus Magnum community as just another random puzzle solver who will occasionally drop a TI or a sum or something and then vanish back into the shadows.
Azian, I'm pretty sure I speak for everyone when I say thank you for this tournament. This is the biggest and hardest to host tournament we have had in our 7-year history, and you've done an absolutely superb job.
Thank you. Well, Alchemist Kasian signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.